All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Hull, the founder and CEO of DoorGrow, the world's leading and most comprehensive coaching and consulting firm for long-term, residential, third-party, single-family, small multi-property management entrepreneurs. Enough adjectives? All right. So for over a decade and a half, we have brought innovative strategies and optimization to the property management industry. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management business owners and their businesses. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. Now, let's get into the show. All right, so today's episode, I've been reading the Book of Proverbs. Why? Well, one of my mentors, Aaron Stokes, who I've talked about on the podcast before, who passed recently, he was a gatherer of wisdom. And so I thought, you know what? Aaron built a really amazing coaching business. He built a really amazing empire. It lives on after him. And I wanted to, I was thinking, what really made him great? Why did people want to listen to him? Why did people resonate with his message? Why did he have such a well of wisdom to be able to give to other people? And my thought was he was focused on gathering wisdom. And this is something that I've done throughout my life is I love learning. I love studying books. I love absorbing information. I love putting frameworks together, gathering ideas, taking all the best ideas and formulating new stuff. I love doing that. And my clients appreciate it greatly. So I've been focused, how can I really, at the core, where's the most timeless wisdom that's been gathered over decades, centuries, maybe even longer? And one of those books is the Book of Proverbs. So I've started reading the Book of Proverbs, and that's been interesting for me. So one of the themes that I'm noticing a lot in this is the theme of trying to get riches. And God must be using riches as a bait if this book talks this much about riches, because he wants to obviously get a message across, would be my guess. And there's a constant theme of talking about riches in this book, even though a lot of it's really talking about wisdom. And so I've thought about this as a business owner. We want to gather wealth. We want to make money. We want, and we can tell ourselves it's to do good things, right? We want to be able to take care of our family and do all these noble things. But sometimes it's like we just want a nicer car, or we want a nice house, or this sort of thing. And so there's always this motivation that's hardwired into man to seek wealth or to seek riches. And we almost have to like destroy that in some way to not have it. Oh, well, money's evil, or I don't want money, or we come up with reasons to not be the person looking for money because we think, oh, that's kind of bad, sick, and wrong to be looking for money. I really believe God wants good people to be rich. And that's really what the book really seems to say over and over again, is that for the righteous, they get riches. For the generous, they get riches. For those that gather wisdom, they get riches. But what's interesting that I think is important, because if you want money and I don't care why you want it. If you want money and you think it's going to do something beneficial for your life, you're not going to get money, according to Proverbs, according to this timeless wisdom that's been around a long time, probably tested quite a bit, probably proven to work well. It's helped a lot of people over time gather wealth. It says not to seek riches. It says not to seek it. If you seek riches, you're going to end up in a bad situation, is basically the message. But it talks about wisdom as a lady, as a woman. And this lady wisdom, this woman that is wisdom, it says in her right hand is long life, and in her left hand is honor and riches. Riches and honor. And these are the things that Lady Wisdom brings to you if you keep wisdom by your side. And it talks about how wisdom, this feminine energy, or this woman wisdom, was with God when he was creating the world, creating everything. Wisdom was by his side. And so wisdom has existed before this world was even created, is kind of the idea. Wisdom is timeless, is the idea. Wisdom's always been there. It's foundational. It's what drives things to work and drives outcomes. Wisdom is what works in the practical, real world reality. I was hanging out with my barber and I was sharing a little bit about, how I've been reading and this idea of wisdom. And every man out there, I recommend you find a barber like this. Find the most intelligent barber you can. I just did a reel on Instagram talking about this. Find the most intelligent, healthy barber that you can find, because barbers have people sit in their chair constantly, especially if they're a higher end barber. So if you're sitting there with a barber, the barber is constantly putting people into his seat and gathering ideas, gathering wisdom, gathering knowledge. And this is men opening up, revealing their trials, their problems, because he's curious. He asks questions. He genuinely cares. He wants to know how they're doing. And, he might have a millionaire in his chair. Like, I'm sitting there giving him wisdom and knowledge. And he might have somebody just, from the street that wants a haircut sitting in his suite. But the lessons that he's able to gather through talking to all these various men that are having real world experience and real world problems and real issues with their marriage and relationships and their kids and business and life, he is able to just gather wisdom. And he has a passion, he even mentioned to me, for being able to help others and to facilitate and help men. He's in a position to be able to do so because he's seen what's working and what's not working. He's gotten so much anecdotal feedback from everybody of what works and what doesn't work. And this is practical, grounded, real world reality. This is wisdom. This is where the foundation, where you find truth. This is not the intellectuals that sit in their lofty towers of intellectualism that have all of their BS ideas, that theoretics and stuff they've read where they think everything could be or should be a certain way, but it's not actually connected to reality, what actually works in real life. And a lot of these intellectuals hate capitalism. A lot of these intellectuals, they hate business. They hate capitalism. They don't like that the marketplace rewards what actually works. This is also why a lot of these intellectuals are probably not in super great shape. They're probably not really taking care of themselves in certain ways because they're probably physically lazy and they're focusing so much on this intellectualism that they are not focused on what works in the real world. Real world, practical reality. I notice people that I follow, like that have been around for a long time, like Alex Hormozy. He has become kind of this gatherer of wisdom because he's been so focused on business. And you become wise if you do what works in business. You cannot lie, cheat, steal, be unethical, be shady, and have longevity in your business or have long life in your business. It will be short-lived. Death creeps in very quickly into any situation where there isn't wisdom. And so if you find that you're struggling to get riches and you're seeking riches, maybe you need to shift your attention instead to seeking wisdom. And where do you find wisdom? You find it by being around others that are doing what you want to do. Like, our mastermind is full of people that are winning and succeeding. And I've been kind of the barber with lots and lots, hundreds, thousands really of property managers sitting in my chair, having conversations to figure out what's actually working out there. I've had a lot of guinea pigs to try stuff out. So even more than just a barber, I'm able to say, well, here's an idea, go try this. And then when it works, I get that feedback. And they're like, Jason, that was awesome. That worked. I'm adding doors. This is going well. I've got a great new hire. Whatever you told me to do, this is awesome. And so I'm constantly getting feedback from some of the best, most innovative people, I think, on the planet, which are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are willing to do things. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to take action. They're willing to seek freedom and fulfillment and contribution. and support over just trying to play it safe and be safe all the time. There are few things in life that will help you collapse time on gathering wisdom more than getting married, having kids. There's a lot of people that don't want to have kids nowadays. Children and marriage, two of the greatest personal development hacks you could undertake. The third, I would suggest, greatest personal development hack that you could do is to start a business. To start a business. Why? Because if you start a business, you are now faced with the marketplace, the real world reality of everyone outside of yourself that you are trying to serve, that you are maybe trying to get money from, that you are trying to maybe extract value from. And the marketplace only rewards you if you provide value. Then there's an exchange of value. But if you're trying to take value without providing value, you're snake oil, and I've made thousands of mistakes. Thousands of mistakes have built what DoorGrow is to this day. I've done so many different things wrong. I always had good intentions. I was always trying to do the right thing. But as business owners, we make mistakes. We have blind spots. We don't see certain things. And so over the years, I've learned more and more what works. I've learned more and more what I need to do in order to shift people and to shift their identities and to get them to grow. And I want to share this idea with you today. Gain and gather wisdom directly from those that you can trust as an authority to say, this is what I know works. And that could be from your barber. That could be from the handyman. That could be from the people that are doing real world stuff and they've built things that are working. And it certainly can be from the people that you follow on social media, that you subscribe to their podcasts, that you follow on YouTube. It can certainly be the people that you curate that are actually gatherers of wisdom. And your soul knows this. Your soul knows deep down whether what they're offering is good or is true. This is the gift of discernment that we all have wired within us. We all have this ability to recognize good versus evil. Some it's more honed and developed than others. The more wisdom you have, the more you're able to see what is beneficial and is wisdom and have greater discernment and what is not. And so as you develop and grow in wisdom and gather wisdom, you also become more and more humble because you also realize there's so much you don't know. My goal is to benefit other people. I get so much joy and fulfillment out of that. I love being able to do that. That's contribution. I have a certain degree of fulfillment and a certain degree of freedom already. That's fulfillment is the first of the 4 reasons, as I call it, my framework. Freedom is the second. And once you have fulfillment and freedom, usually then you want to benefit others. That's contribution. And my business gives me an amazing vehicle of contribution. It allows me to go selfishly, spend a lot of money on coaches and mentors and learning and growth, 6 figures annually just on that. I'm incredibly blessed to be able to do that. Most people, that's more than what they make in a year. And I'm able to spend that to learn and absorb information and to grow. And then I have the blessing, the gift to be able to go and share what I learn with other people. I really believe that one of the greatest gifts to yourself is service. It's being able to serve. Not everybody gets themselves into a position where they get to contribute and they get to serve other people. That's, I think, the ultimate goal because nothing feels better than that. That is better than riches. It is better than riches. Having a client's spouse come up to you and say, hey, you made my husband a better man. That's better than money. That feels amazing. Having somebody say, hey, you changed my life. That is better than money. And some of you may not get that yet. Maybe you're not there. But I know if you continue to seek wisdom and you continue to try and extract money from the marketplace and figure out what works, you're eventually going to figure out what works is to seek wisdom. You're eventually going to figure out what works is to benefit humanity and benefit other people. You're going to eventually figure out integrity and honesty and all of these good values that are talked about in Scripture. These things are what actually build life what build life and health in your business, what build money and support for yourself and for your family. And that wisdom is what helps you be a better father. It helps you be a better partner. It helps you be a better friend. It helps you be a better business owner. It helps you be a better leader. And so if you're struggling with money, then go gather wisdom. Humble yourself. Recognize that your biggest breakthroughs are on the other side of that embarrassment of owning up or raising your hand and saying, I'm struggling. I'm not doing so well right now in this area. And sometimes even my clients, they don't reach out. They don't ask for help. I had a client that for some reason, even though he's paying me $2,000 a month, wasn't reaching out. For 5 months, I had a BDM that wasn't working out. The salesperson was, it turns out later, was being dishonest and lying and whatever, but he was blaming himself as a business owner, saying maybe I'm not supporting him well enough. And this BDM had only added 1 door in 5 months. I'm like, why did you wait that long? Like, they should be adding doors immediately. You can, like, I have team members, I told them I have team members that we put on accounts just making calls to get clients some leads, and they just reached out and made calls and they got leads that day. Like that day, like you can get leads every day just by picking up the phone. You can create leads. And so a BDM that only has 1 door in 5 months, there's something totally wrong. But what I want to say is, get in the room with other people that care, other people that get momentum by helping others. That's the type of people that we attract. Why? Because you attract who you are. That's who I am. And so I attract clients that are like that. And if you're attracting clients that you don't like, it's because of who you are and the business you created around who you are. And so you need to gather more wisdom. You need to shift your identity. We attract who we are. So real quick, I want to share a quick word from our sponsor, and then I'll get into some other really cool ideas about wisdom. So this is from our sponsor, Super. Really cool tool you can check out at hiresuper.com/DoorGrow. So ring, ring. Who's there? Not property managers. Over half don't answer their phones during business hours. Hot leads calling you directly are going straight to missed calls. If you're spending time and money on growth, you need to actually capture it. This is true. That's where Super comes in. Super's AI receptionist sounds lifelike, answers 24/7, and is trained on property management. It even makes follow-up calls to leads you might have missed. Go to hiresuper.com/DoorGrow and stop missing revenue to missed calls. All right. You don't want to be missing out on those sales leads or opportunities. So if you are wanting to gather more wisdom, one channel, shameless plug, is the DoorGrow Mastermind. It is the industry's best mastermind for property management that is focused entirely on growing a business quickly. It's focused on growing the business and making it scalable operationally so you can continue to grow quickly without stopping focusing on growth to fix ops. And so we build the fastest growing businesses, and we give you the tools, the engines to collapse time on growth so that you don't have to spend any money on digital marketing, SEO, pay-per-click, content marketing, social media marketing, pay-per-lead services, any of this stuff in order to grow your business. We help you install growth engines that actually over time make your business grow faster and faster with less and less work. It takes work to build an engine, but once an engine's built, you just put fuel in it and it keeps running and it keeps running. So if you are interested in maybe having a conversation with me or somebody on my team to see if we might be able to help you start really getting ahead, growing your business, using wisdom that's been gathered over 17 plus years that I've been doing this, aggressively focused on growing businesses with a program that is month to month, no contract, because we're so confident in what we do, we are able to keep and retain clients without locking them into some sort of contract or agreement for a year, like most vendors try to do in this industry, because they know they can't get your results quickly, or you're not going to stick around in the long term. It's one or the other. Otherwise, they would all do what I'm doing. It's month to month. And we keep clients for years because they get an ROI. And if I can help you just add 10 more units, maybe 20 more units, if your margins are bad, our program's already paid for. If I can help you, if you have already 100 to 200 units, if I can help you add $10 more of profitability per unit by optimizing your pricing structure or reducing your overhead or your operational costs or staffing costs, which is very easy to do, our program is basically paid for and free to you forever. And then we'll make you more and more money. You are probably spending thousands of dollars a month on team members, thousands and thousands of dollars a month on team members. If you consider that hiring DoorGrow, coming into our mastermind, is like getting several of the best property managers available to you, getting me and Sarah, my brilliant operational strategist wife, and myself, brilliant growth-minded entrepreneur, on your team, basically, as fractional helpers to your business, we're basically the cheapest team member that you'll ever get that will make you the most money that you will ever get. And it's easy, no-brainer. And usually we can offset the cost of the program just by that first in-person session that you do with each new client, where we have you come out and we onboard clients in person. You come spend a day with Sarah and I in Austin. We can usually find the money for the program, so it's already paid for, just by helping you eliminate interruptions, eliminate some of the costs in the business, increase your pricing, increase your fee structure, maximize what you're doing there, and several other things that we do. This is how we're able to help clients justify staying in our program, even though it's expensive. And if it's too expensive for you right now, we've created a program called the PM Launchpad that will help you to get your first 10 or 20 doors with two of our best growth engines. One's one of the hardest, but it always works. And then another one that's more of a long game that also works to help you get your first 10 or 20 units. And it's only $97 a month to get into the PM Launchpad. So that can help you get your first 10 or 20 units by doing some hard work. If you want to collapse time and go a lot faster, make a lot more money a lot more quickly, then join our mastermind. But if you can't afford that, I want to be able to help you. We've created a program just for that. So we've also created a program for those that have money and you want to hire a salesperson, but you failed at this before. We will become your salesperson at DoorGrow. This is our program called the Door Machine. Yes, it's expensive, but so is hiring a salesperson. It's basically the same thing, except we are your salesperson, and I actually hire, train, support, keep accountable a person in your local market. Maybe even we're considering adding, because we're incentivized, the more doors we add, the more DoorGrow makes. It's like a partnership. We're also incentivized to perhaps also get sales setters to feed this BDM. Whatever makes the business grow quickly. And so if we are having some success with growing your business in your market, it's a win-win-win for all three parties, for the salesperson, for DoorGrow, and for you. And if we can make that work, we will throw all the gasoline at that fire that we can, Sarah and I, because we all win together. So if any of this sounds interesting, reach out to us at DoorGrow. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So if you've ever felt stuck or stagnant, you want to take your business to the next level, reach out to us at DoorGrow. We can help. And for a free training on how to get unlimited leads for free, text the word leads to 512-648-4608. Also, join our free Facebook community just for property management business owners at doorgrowclub.com. And if you want tips, tricks, ideas, and to learn about our offers, subscribe to our newsletter by going to doorgrow.com/subscribe. And if you, and I said our Facebook community, we're shifting away from Facebook. So now we have our own community you can download the app. DoorGrow Hub is the app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Check that out. And like I was saying, if you want tips, tricks, ideas, learn about our offers, subscribe to our newsletter, go to doorgrow.com/subscribe. And if you found this even a little bit helpful, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it. And I just launched, this is brand new, I just launched my own Substack. I'm King Jason Hull, Hull, King Jason Hull on every platform that exists. So that's how you can find me on Substack. I just wrote my first article, kind of attacking the PM trends report and survey in a nice way, helping to add some value to it. There's some great stuff in it. And so go check that out and by going to kingjasonhull.substack.com, I believe. And then I'm also getting more and more involved on LinkedIn. And so make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll find me as King Jason Hull on LinkedIn, or just search for Jason Hull and look for my shiny, happy face. And until next time, everybody, remember, the slowest path to growth is to do it alone. So let's grow together. Bye, everyone.